Okay. All right, so give a few minutes. Looks like I'm the only one from the UNF team on right now, so we'll want to give them a few minutes as well.
The third, fourth.
I like your whale.
Thank you.
There's a right whale festival up in Fernandina in November.
In where?
In Fernandina Beach.
Is that in Florida?
Yes.
I live in Oregon.
Oh.
Wow. So my brother recently moved to Eugene out there.
Oh
Are you
yeah, that's
close
a nice
by?
place.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
Good.
And my son lives in Bend.
Another one.
Oh, I've heard
Good.
of nice things about that place. Yeah.
Is that in
Yep.
Oregon? I hear they have truffles up there, just like in Italy.
Maybe they do. I don't know.
I love truffle salt.
Oh, I'm shaved.
Yeah,
Forget the salt.
yeah.
Not the real thing. So we've got diverse
Yeah. Travel.
from different
Are
places.
you guys flying from Oregon over?
I'm flying to JFK and then JFK to Rome.
Okay. So a friend of mine is flying back from Hong Kong after taking a Japanese tour, and they've been informed they can't fly over Russian space, and they have to rebook a different flight to get home.
Wow.
I know that's interesting. Yeah. Oh boy, right?
Yep.
We're gonna do a few more minutes, if you guys don't mind.
Uh-uh.
Okay. Because we are still missing our lovely instructors. So we definitely don't want to start without them. And then there's a handful of participants that still have not yet joined. Now Beach is Jean joining as well, or
Yes, yeah, we're in the kitchen. She's just
okay, perfect. And
So-
then also Beach, I noticed that you hadn't yet joined the WhatsApp group, which is fine. I just wanted to understand, are you and Jean just sharing the communication with one another? I don't want to hound you about it. Okay.
She's the only one with a smartphone, so
Okay.
she gets the duty of the WhatsApp.
Makes sense. Okay. Got it.
See, it has the people's names right there,
Mhm.
which is
Well, that's her.
Jessica, can you hear me? This is David.
Hey, David. Yes, I can hear you.
Did you get all of our flight information? And I don't know, are you allowed to share any of that? Like who might be on the same flights?
So I am almost done building the survey to send to you guys to input. I will be sharing anybody's flight information. If anybody wants to share their own flight information, you guys can do so in the Canvas course on that extra discussion board. So it'll just be everybody's independent discussion what they want to share about their travel plans. So I would just throw that out there for anybody that wants to try to join up with anyone. I would use that discussion board. I think it's in the intro module there for doing that.
Just looking at this, this is what I have to put in.
Okay.
It was supposed to be saved on my phone, but when
Mhm.
I go to get in, it says can't find student.
Yeah. All right.
All right, I'm just texting some others just to see if they're joining or where we're at, if we want to get started without them. So hang in there because we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Between 8 and 10 people that have not yet hopped on. I'll also just send a WhatsApp message.
I hope they didn't do what I did, and that was, I forgot that wasn't session 2.
Oh, okay.
And I was sitting there going, and I remembered, this says October the 10th. I don't think so.
Start sending.
So I don't need to print. I think I can bring it all in.
Mhm. Well,
I didn't know.
There's just a notification.
mhm.
So it looks like most everyone, with the exception of maybe 3 people, I believe, are all in the WhatsApp. So yeah, I think there's 3. So I'll try to coordinate with them this week to get them all on board, and then we should be good to go with that.
Mhm.
So that's exciting. We got we beat the technology this time because last time we were having issues. So I'm glad that most everybody has made it.
Maybe send a WhatsApp notice to everybody saying, please sign on.
Yes, I just did that.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. I'm late to the party.
Yes. I was
I-
surprised I didn't hear everybody's phones pinging.
I received it on the WhatsApp.
Okay, good.
I got
Okay, yep, I did too. So,
Okay.
okay.
All right. So,
Now
I
we'll
guess
be
I
able to use, will we be able to use this WhatsApp among each other the whole trip?
yes.
Okay.
Yep. So you guys can do that. And I believe in there you can also set up separate groups. So if there's a group of you that are meeting up beforehand or afterwards, you guys can definitely set up a separate group through this as well and communicate, outside of the larger group. So definitely use the app however you feel will be helpful while you guys are there. And also we're using it before the trip as well. So and be welcome to share any pictures or anything like that, or tips. So if you get into the country sooner and you maybe stopped by a really nice street food vendor and it was delicious, maybe snap a picture and say, hey, I encourage you guys as you're walking outside, grab a you know, food item from this vendor, you know, just anything that you guys want to share with the group would be
Okay.
great.
And we'll be able to use this with people here in the States?
Yes. So you won't be able to add them to our group, but you can definitely create a new group for sure. But yeah, you can use WhatsApp for anything. And so any communication app that you guys want to use, you're definitely welcome to do that with your loved ones back here in the States.
Okay.
All right. Well, Lauren, do you have co-host rights? So if I get started, you can help admit folks in? Because if not, let me go ahead and do that.
Not sure.
All right, I'm gonna make you co-host real quick.
Okay.
All righty.
I guess
All right.
we-
Well, with that being said, it's 6:10. So let's go ahead and get started. So like I said, we are going to be recording this. So anybody that comes in late or can't attend, they can always come back and rewatch this for sure. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. Oh, there's one right here.
Fiber. So I guess we can use this.
Okay.
It's probably a new one.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
All right. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Footsteps the
Yeah.
same frame. Yeah.
Well, there we go. Okay. Alrighty. So welcome to our study abroad pre-departure meeting. We are officially 2 weeks out from the program commencement, so that's very exciting. I hope you guys are all as excited as we are for making this happen. So this is our first study abroad that we've actually done through our division of continuing ed. So we are very excited, and if the trip goes well, we will, you know, continue to do this, and as well as possibly doing a spring trip as well. So that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. So our program staff is here, which I believe everybody knows kind of who we are, the UNF side of the house now, but just to briefly go over that again for those of you that might have some confusion. So Dr. Carlene Taylor, Dr. Amy Binder, and Mary Harvey are going to be our trip leaders, and they will be responsible for leading the content or the programmatic content of this course and the travel. So informally, when we get to Italy, because there's about 30 of us, they will be kind of breaking us off into about groups of 10. We're not going to be designating that, you know, this is Dr. Taylor's team, this is Dr. Binder's team, this is Mary's team, but just each day it'll just kind of informally and naturally kind of break off. And this is just to kind of easily manage this group of 30 so that we're all still, you know, hearing what's being said and that kind of thing. So that's kind of where we're at with those three. Edith, who is our dean, myself and Lauren will all be there for a master of ceremonies, if you will. So we're going to be kind of covering the admin side of this trip. So if you need anything, if there's any logistical issues that arise or any special circumstances that arise, the three of us will be kind of managing that, you know, making sure that we have everybody accounted for, that we're not leaving anyone behind, just anything that might arise that is not pertaining to the actual content of the program. So, so those are the 6 of us that will be UNF representatives on the trip. Despite our roles, if there's any emergency or any questions, you can come to any of us to get anything answered for you guys. All right, before you leave, so these are just some general housekeeping items. So I know that I've said it several times to secure your global health insurance. So this will just be your final reminder from me to do that. It is not required. However, it is highly encouraged, just because you never know what could happen while you're in Italy or just overseas in general. So you'll see here some items that generally are included in the global health plan. They're absolutely included in the plan that I had sent, the Atlas plan. I guess that was several weeks ago. I'm happy to resend that to you guys if needed, but those are the types of coverages that you would get with having that plan. So if something happens to you overseas, that this would be covering you. So the other thing is to complete all of your UNF forms. So everyone should have received an email from me regarding the status of your program documentation. So either you were good to go, you were missing some items, or some of you may have been missing items completely. So just check your email to confirm. Like I said, either way, you will have received an email from me telling you your status. So just please have all of that to me by Monday, because next week is going to be a little chaotic with us all getting ready to leave. So I just want to make sure I have everybody's documentation, like I said, by Monday. If you can't make that happen, please let me know so we can make some other arrangement for that, because that is important that we have that. The other thing is to just check with your phone provider and consider adding some type of an international plan or temporary coverage to your cell phone plan, if that's important to you. Some of you might be going unplugged, if you will, on this trip. So I don't know everybody's situation, but if it's important for you to have that kind of coverage, please, check with your cell phone provider just to make sure you have the coverage that you need. And then have a plan on how you're going to carry your money. So if that's a fanny pack, if it's a money belt, whatever it may be, have a plan and make sure you actually have that item. If it's something that you need to order off Amazon, like go ahead and get that done so that way you have it in a safe place.
Is there
And
any
then,
amount, Jessica, is there any amount of cash you think we should bring as opposed to credit cards?
yes. So when we get to money, I have a whole recommendation, but just offhand, just in my research, they're recommending that you have about 100 to 200 euros per day, and that's essentially just to cover like places that aren't going to accept a credit card, which from what I've read, vendors that you're buying something for under 20 euros, they usually don't want, it's not encouraged to use a credit card. And also just street vendors, they're going to want cash. So so that's kind of where we're at, about 100 to 200. But again, it's going to be dependent on everybody. If you think that you're going to be buying a lot of items, you might want to have more, but that's about average. All right. So if you're traveling with medications, it's important that you have those in the original container. I know it's tempting to put them like in a pill box for organization or maybe a baggie, but some medication is illegal in Italy, and I don't remember what the medications are. You might want to Google it, but essentially they will want to have evidence that you have a proper prescription for those. And generally when you have them in your original container, it has all of those pieces of information, like the doctor and what it is, and just to confirm that you have that prescription. But beyond that, it's also important that you make a list of all your medications and keep that list separate from the actual medication itself, just in case it's lost or stolen for any reason, that you have it a list elsewhere that you can easily, hopefully get that filled while in Italy.
What about vitamins?
I think vitamins are fine. Yeah, I think it's just prescriptions, but I definitely would, just confirm by just doing a simple Google search about vitamins, but I think just general vitamins should be fine. I think some of the medicines that are illegal are mainly like Adderall, and like I think OxyContin, but again, I don't recall. So if you have medications that you are concerned about, I would just definitely Google that and just make sure. But regardless, I think as long as they are in a prescription bottle, when you go through customs, you'll be able to show evidence that they are yours, that you have a prescription, and any questions they have, like your doctor and the phone number and all of that for your pharmacy, all of that information is generally on a prescription bottle. So I think you'd be safe. All right, pre-departure health precautions. So as you know from filling out the documentation from UNF, you had to basically submit some of your health information to us. And that really just is helpful to us in terms of myself, Lauren, and Edith on the UNF side. If there is a health emergency while we're there, that we are informed of anything, and that we can kind of help mitigate any issue
Yes.
that's may arise. Also, if you have any concerns about potential impact of this travel on your health, I would just recommend that you try to connect with your doctor before departure to just kind of make sure you have all your questions answered, and also just to make sure that any prescriptions that you need are filled and that you have them ready, you know, for your trip. And then they just recommend that you have a week over prescriptions from what you're traveling. So if you're going to be staying beyond the 25th, you know, that you maybe have another week, or whenever your departure is, like add a week of prescriptions just in case. All right, what to bring? So, obviously there's I think a longer list in Canvas, but these are some important things. Number one is your passport. You are going to need your passport, so do not leave that at home. You're going to want to bring comfortable walking shoes that are broken in. So if you have bought new shoes for this trip, I would definitely start wearing them now to try to break those in before doing so in Italy. Bring a backpack, a fanny pack or money belt, anything that you're thinking about carrying your money or carrying your things that you're wanting to bring with you each day. Bring that. Also bring a water bottle. So we're gonna be doing a lot of walking, and there's gonna be places that I'm certain that we're not gonna have access to get a beverage. So I would definitely just always have a water bottle with you so that you always can stay hydrated throughout the day. And then if you see an opportunity to refill that while we're out and about, I definitely welcome you to do that as well. Extra glasses or contacts. So I'm notorious for putting stuff down and walking off and leaving it. So glasses are one of those things that you do not want to go without. So definitely just bring an extra pair or two if you need those, as well as contact lenses.
Oh, that's my spare.
So protection from the sun, bring a sunscreen, hat, sunglasses, whatever you need to have for that, because we'll be outside walking a good bit of this trip. Bring chargers and batteries for all your devices, whether it's your phone, your tablet, your camera, your video camera, like anything that you're bringing, make sure you have your chargers and batteries. I have on here journal and pens. So we actually have a type of a journal that we are printing and preparing for you guys. The goal was to have that finished and mailed to you, so that was something that you would bring with you, but that plan did not go well. So Lauren and I are actually going to be bringing these journals to you, and we will be distributing them while we're in Italy. So and it's essentially it's got your itinerary in it. It's got notes. It's got a spot for reflections each day. So you guys can use that, you know, how you might want to use it, or you might not. It's a resource for you guys. Everybody's going to get one. So, use it how you see best. But just, bring some pens as well, or whatever you want to write with in those journals, or just any journal that you have. And like I have here, there's more items listed in Canvas, but I think these are kind of your top ones that are important. You don't want to forget. All right, itinerary. So as you know, we are traveling October 18th through the 25th. Some are coming sooner, some are staying later, but these are going to be the official program dates. And then, as I'm sure you've all seen, the detailed itinerary. So it's in Canvas. And again, we will have it in the journal, which we are, it's going to be small, I think 6 by 9. So it's going to be somewhat of a small size journal that you guys could easily throw in a backpack or something like that. So you guys can follow along throughout the day, our events for that day. All right, so we're now on to flights. So like I said earlier, I'm almost done building that survey for everybody to submit their flight information to me. As a reminder, you do need to arrive on the 18th by 11, and that's Rome time, to join us, to join the bus charter to the villa. We'll be taking we'll be tracking everybody's flight so that we can keep an eye on if there's any delays. And if there are any delays or cancellations, we'll basically be making those decisions at that time if that even comes up. And then we will also just be communicating through WhatsApp. So if there's any issue where you get delayed or stuck or postponed, please always try to connect to the airport's free guest Wi-Fi to be communicating to us if there's any changes, like I said, so that way we know and we can make the best decision to, let the rest of the group move forward, and we can figure out a plan B, when you get to the next destination. So just that WhatsApp tool is going to be really important, especially, like I said, for any changes, unplanned changes on our travel.
Jessica, quick
Yeah.
question.
Mhm.
Where at the Rome airport, we may have gone over this before, but where at the airport will we meet?
So we are going to send all that through WhatsApp when we arrive. So Carlene is actually the only one of our group that has been there before, and she has the general idea of where we're supposed to be meeting, but specifically when we arrive, we're going to take pictures of all of that and send it through WhatsApp. So that's another reason why connecting through WhatsApp is going to be important. But essentially, you're going to go through customs. You're going to exit, get all of your baggage. And as you're almost to exiting the airport, we will have an area past all of those checkpoints to meet, because there are going to be several people that are coming in early. And so they're not gonna be able to come back through all those checkpoints. So it will be past all of the security. Everybody will have their luggage at that point. So it'll be on the extreme end of exiting. But again, Carlene basically said it was going to be in a restaurant area. There's several tables, but again, we'd feel better about having a specific location, have detailed instructions for everybody along with pictures so everybody can clearly and easily identify where we're meeting. Does that help?
Yeah, sorry, I had
Oh,
muted.
that's okay.
Yeah, thank
No
you.
purpose. Yes. All right. So on the day of departure, on the 18th, if your flight leaves before 11, you'll likely have to make separate arrangements to get back to the airport because the bus is leaving. I don't know specifically what time yet, but they're leaving at a point in time in which any departure before 11 a.m. is not going to be conducive to the schedule. So if you are needing transportation before 11, if you're needing to be at the airport before 11 a.m., we need to go ahead and make arrangements for you guys to get there. If you guys are not riding the bus back to the airport on the 25th, we also need to know that. So part of the flight itinerary form that I'm going to be sending to you guys to collect all of your flight information, there's also going to be a question there on whether or not you're going to be returning with the group on the 25th or if you're doing a separate arrangement. So we just need to make sure we know all of that, so everybody's on the same page, nobody's getting left behind, or we're not waiting on somebody who has already left or something like that. So that'll be important. Okay. All right. So international air travel. So this is really like common sense, but we're just going to throw it out there just because. So like I said, you have to have your passport to travel internationally. It's recommended that you check in at least 3 hours before your departure time. Do not leave your bags unattended. Carry your ticket and your passport on your person. Your name on your plane ticket must match your passport. And then we recommend that you put your itinerary in your carry-on bag with the location of where you'll be staying while abroad. So we can get that address to the group. So when you fill out the customs form on the airplane, these are some of the things that you're going to need to know to fill out that card. All right, so for customs on the airplane, you're going to be given a customs card to fill out. And so once you get off the plane, you're going to enter a line to speak agent. In your carry-on luggage, you should have the details that you're doing a UNF study abroad trip, your return flight information or your tickets, which you all should have. You can show that if they're asking for that, and then you'll just have to show your passport. So a visa is not required to visit Italy if you're staying for less than 90 days. So I think all of us are doing that. So nobody should need a visa. If you are staying for more than 90 days or more, you need to go ahead and secure a visa now. Or you will run into some issues. So just gonna put that out there, but I think everybody pretty much is staying for a short period. All right, so this is just more information about customs. The customs agent will take your passport and may ask you some questions about your travel plans. And then once you clear customs, you'll go on to go claim all your baggage. All right, so now we're on to jet lag. So Mary Harvey had put in some tips for beating jet lag in the Canvas course, but here's just some more basic suggestions. So during the flight, try to sleep, drink plenty of water, avoid caffeine or alcohol, wear comfortable clothing, and then change your watch to your local time, the local time when we land in Italy. And then once you arrive, follow the time schedule for meals and sleep, which our program plans on doing that. Moderate exercise, which we'll be doing a lot of walking. So I think that we'll meet that expectation as well. And then eating healthy foods and drinking lots of fluid. So those are all the suggestions. So that way we are all trying to beat the jet lag and getting on the right time zone. Okay, what to pack? All right, so the local culture and sites we'll be visiting requires us to dress conservatively. So it's best to avoid sleeveless shirts, shorts, or just items that are too revealing. You may want to consider packing a cardigan or a jacket or some type of a cover up to put on at these sites if you're unsure about your dress. We'll be doing a lot of walking, including a couple of farm visits. So you might want to pack a couple pairs of jeans for those days. Wear comfortable shoes and clothes. Our days will be full from morning to evening. And so during the day, we're going to experience probably a lot of different temperatures. So dressing in layers is probably a smart idea. Just packing several items that are maybe lightweight that you can like throw in a backpack or something. So if we go somewhere that you're chilly, you have it already in your backpack to kind of put on. Again, if some of the holy sites that we visit, throw that on. But then able to take it back off if you get too warm. So we looked at the weather. It's highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s. So those to me are a little extreme from, being cold to warm. So definitely try to pack clothes that, are layered. There were a couple days that looked like it could rain. So if you want to pack a light rain jacket, if it's not going to become too bulky and all, that's up to you. Electricity. So they do have different voltage and plug shapes there. So they have types C, F, and L. I think you can go easily on Amazon and order an adapter, like a universal adapter. So if you don't have one of those, it might be wise if you guys are looking to charge your phones, your iPads, or anything like that. Once you start getting into appliances like hair dryers and stuff, you might need something a little bit more heavier. So if you can avoid bringing those types of appliances, I would do that. All right, packing tips. So you should be able to carry your luggage by yourself. You want to start packing several days before your departure. Make a list. Make sure you have everything checked off. You definitely don't want to be waiting, until the last minute and then feel scrambled or, feel like you forgot something. So definitely put some thought into that. Avoid overpacking. Lauren and I have looked into baggage fees because we're all, concerned about excess baggage fees. So they are pricey. So definitely do not overpack because I know for myself, I'm going to be bringing back more than I'm taking with me. So leave some extra room in your luggage to bring back some of your souvenirs. Put your name and your contact information on your luggage tag inside your bag. And, just travel backpacks and suitcases with wheels are recommended just so they're easier to tote. All right, let's get into meals. So most of the program expenses were covered in the program fee that you guys already paid. So breakfast will be provided by the villa each day, except for the day of departure, just because I believe we're leaving before they serve breakfast. So know that. Dinner will also be provided by the villa each evening. UNF is covering 4 of the lunches. All the other lunches are on your own. So there's just a handful of lunches that will be on your own. And then if you want any premium drinks, alcohol, gelato, just any additional food outside of our like meals, those will all be purchased on your own. So again, depending on where we're at, some street vendors may take a credit card, some might only accept cash. So you'll just want to make sure that you're prepared either way. All right, so staying connected with home. So we talked about the WhatsApp that you definitely can sync that up with your friends and family if you want to do that, or perhaps, you know, you're using Facebook Messenger. There's all sorts of communication apps out there these days. So I'm sure that everybody has their favorite. So as long as you can connect to a free Wi-Fi connection, you should be able to use those without issue. I haven't used phone cards, so I'm not sure about that, but that is an option out there if you want to look into getting some prepaid cards. There's also Skype. Again, there's FaceTime. So as long as you're able to connect to a Wi-Fi, you should be good to go without incurring any international charges. Email is obviously the most affordable way to communicate. Internet cafes, apparently, you know, there's a fee to use those. That's something that we'll have to learn when we get out there. It's my understanding that the villa does have Wi-Fi. So as long as you're at the villa, you can use their Wi-Fi and connect with friends and family that way as well. Okay, so upon arrival, so once you've landed, you've exited customs and you're on your way to get your luggage, it's time to meet with the group. So I would just say, just to be helpful, on the day of arrival, when you guys have landed and you're on your way, if you want to just send a quick message to the group saying just landed on my way or just cleared customs or something like that, so we can, number one, know that you're here and you're on your way, but also so we can look out for you just in case anybody's having problems finding us. So and we'll just use the group system, so we'll have all eyes out to find everyone. And then if you, because like I said, a lot of you guys are arriving early, so you guys can say, you know, I'm on my way, I'll be there in 30 minutes, or hey, I just got here, just a kind of way to connect so that we can, you know, make sure we're finding everybody, from whether they're coming from outside or if they're coming from baggage claim, whatever it is. So just definitely try to join that. Typically, like at an airport, you can join a free Wi-Fi connection, and from what I've seen, you usually just have to type in your email address to kind of register, but it is free. And like I said, you just join that and then open up your WhatsApp and you can start communicating in that way. All right, so program staff will arrive early to take photos of the meeting spot, and we'll upload them along with detailed instructions on our meeting spot to WhatsApp. All right, so going back to cost. So as mentioned, premium drinks and alcohol, additional food, souvenirs, all of those things will not be covered by the program fee that you guys paid. Flights, again, were on your own. So, you know, however much you plan on spending on keepsakes and souvenirs and additional food, make sure you have that with you. Plan to keep 100 to 200 euros on you each day, in case any vendors only accept cash. You'll need it for street food, taxis, which you won't need taxis when we're out together for a group because we have the bus that we're using. But if for any of your personal travel before or after the UNF trip, you'll need it for taxis and that kind of thing. But make sure you have some cash set aside and a credit card for emergencies. All right, money. So Italy uses the euro. Right now, the exchange rate is $1.06 for each €1. I'm told that the best exchange rates are at the ATM and credit cards. Here you'll see a few examples of what things cost. So an inexpensive meal for one person is about 15 euros. A meal for two at a mid-range restaurant, which I think it said it was a 3 or 4 course meal, that was about 69 euros. A cappuccino is, 1.51. Coke or Pepsi is about 2 euros. A beer is about 5. And then taxis, and this is just from Google, so we'll have to see when we get there. But Google is telling me that you're going to be charged 4 euros to start the taxi, and then it's 2.09 per mile after that. All right, so accessing your funds. Make sure that you have more than one way to access your money. The ATM, the debit card. So ATMs, which they call bankomats or bankomats. My Italian is not there, so bear with me. But the ATMs are the best way to take cash out once you're in Italy. And they actually have a daily limit of 250 euros. So if you're needing more cash than that, you might want to get it at the airport upon arrival instead of relying on getting to an ATM each day, because based on our itinerary, I don't know that we're each day going to be able to access an ATM. So you'll just want to make sure that you are prepared. And then keep in mind that a bank will often charge a fee for the transaction. Now, I also need to say, because when I was doing my research, there was a specific bank that they said to avoid, and that was the Euronet Worldwide, and it was like a green colored bank. And they said to avoid that particular vendor because their exchange rates are insane and their fees are crazy. So any legitimate bank there you can use, but they specifically said I would not use the Euronet Worldwide. And I will try actually to find an image of that and throw it out to the group so we can just say, like, red flag, do not use this ATM. But other than that, you guys can also use credit cards. So Visa and MasterCard are widely accepted. Apparently American Express is not as widely used. So if you do have that type of credit card, you might want to rely on having more cash than normal, because we don't know what vendors will be accepting an American Express card. Also, just as a PSA, that when you are trying to do a cash advance on a credit card, those rates are going to be very high. So again, I would try to avoid getting cash advances from your credit card. All right. Traveler's checks, they are becoming harder to use, and very few places use them. So I would not rely on traveler's checks for this trip. Buy currency using cash. The best rate you're probably going to get, and the most trustworthy, will probably be at the airport. So either, I think at Jacksonville, you can probably get them, or wherever you're departing from, or in Italy. And I have not actually looked to see if there's a better rate, either doing it before we leave or upon arrival. Lauren, have you checked that at all to see if there's any difference?
So just for through the university, I've been doing some research. So I have found, at least for the purposes that I'm doing it for, is that going to my personal bank is actually not charging me anything to change actual cash over or take the money out of my account. So you're actually, if you've not ever done it before, I personally have not, but actually will go to the bank and then basically place an order for euros, and they're not going to charge me any fees for that. It's just going to be whatever the amount from US dollars to euros. And then, but there is a process for that. At least with the bank that I use, it'll take a couple of days for that money to come in. And so if you are wanting to do that before you leave, then I would recommend early next week at the latest to go ahead and get that process started.
Yeah. we did that, and they cautioned us when I placed the order, said, "Now, when are you leaving?" And I did it a couple of weeks ago, and they said, we never know exactly when the euro's gonna get here. So if you're gonna do that, I'd go to your bank tomorrow and start the process.
Okay, perfect. Yes, that's helpful to know. All right, so everybody has that noted. All right, so make sure to contact your credit card companies and your banks. So I will say nowadays, you don't really have to do that as much just because of all the precautions that the companies now have in place. And actually, if you're using that credit card app or your bank app, there's generally a spot where you can just log into your app to kind of report your trip or report that you're going out. So I'll leave that up to you guys to kind of explore what you need to do. You might already know what your bank or credit card company's policy is, but I would just make sure that you have that taken care of. The last thing you want is to get into the country and then your cards are locked or something like that. So so definitely just take a little bit of time to make sure that's all squared away. All right, so legal matters. I know we're all mature adults. Like, this is not your traditional study abroad where we're bringing a bunch of college students, but we do still have to just let you know that you are bound by the laws of the host country. And in the event of any legal issue, we are going to refer you to the U.S. Embassy or consulate to provide you some assistance. I did just do like a simple search on some of the things that you should not be doing while we're on this trip. Some of them are actually laws and some of them are just highly frowned upon. So those include don't swim in the fountains. So we're going to be probably seeing several fountains. Fight the urge, do not swim in them. Also, they do not want you to eat on or around any of their monuments. You cannot drive without an international driver's license. Flying a drone, you cannot fly a drone. So if anybody was planning on bringing their drone, I would just leave that at home. And the last thing I found was do not sit on the Spanish Steps. So I think if we avoid all of those, I think we will all be good to go. General safety tips. So remember that foreigners are more vulnerable to crime. Try to keep a low profile. Try to blend in with behavior and appearance, avoid baseball caps, t-shirts, speak English quietly, be aware of your surroundings, walk with a purpose, check your maps in private, ignore unwanted attention. So these are all kind of just, some kind of general concepts, but just want to make sure that we throw those out there in case anybody is, coming early and they're doing some solo traveling. We just want to make sure that you kind of consider these things for your own general safety. Again, more safety tips: avoid carrying large amounts of cash and valuables, take precautions against pickpocketing. So again, make sure whatever you're using to carry your money that it's a safe method. Limit your alcohol intake, avoid political demonstrations, have more than one way to access your funds, and then just keep others informed about your whereabouts. Make front and back copies of all credit cards, debit cards, and passports you're taking abroad. I will say that Lauren and I do, like, you had to send your copy of your passport, so we will have those. So again, if something happens in a health emergency or any type of an emergency, Lauren and I will be traveling with your health information and a copy of your passport. Now, if you want to have an additional copy on your own person or in your baggage or something outside of where your actual passport is, feel free to do that, but we will also have a copy of those. Even if you want to scan it to your email is a good idea. Notify your banks and your credit cards that you'll be traveling. And then I just added this link here for the CDC guidelines for international travel. And it's just, a lot of this general information I've shared with you tonight, but it also has some other things that you can kind of go through, different aspects of traveling to Italy that you might want to explore. All right, and that concludes my presentation. Now, I do want to open it up for questions or just comments or anything like that.
Jessica, I'm sorry, David.
That's
Will we
okay.
have access to laundry?
That is a good question. Let me write that one down and I will check with the villa.
Okay,
I
thank
will
you.
check
Yeah,
with
that
the
would be
villa. Yeah.
helpful.
Is
Because
that
I,
Christy that's asking me that?
yeah, because I
Christy,
leave
okay.
technically this Sunday and I'm going to
Okay.
Jacksonville and then I'm leaving Jacksonville and going to Italy and it's just a long time. And I don't know that I have that many clothes. So
Okay, no problem. So yeah, Christy, I will try to have an answer for you. They are 6 hours ahead. So if I don't, I'll try to send the email tonight so that hopefully by the morning we'll have an answer and I can get that to you.
okay, thanks so much.
Yeah.
This is David.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, David.
Yes.
I got hit, lightning strike happened and I lost some of your presentation and I got back on my phone and then the cable came back. Did you mention that you're supposed to let the State Department know your travel plans?
I did not add that into this. You're more than welcome to do that. I don't think there's any political issues that are presenting an extreme danger that we need to do that, but everybody is welcome to do that.
I think in the past when I traveled, it helped get through customs because they could see where I was going before I went.
Oh, okay. Well, definitely, I can look into that, but if anybody is inclined to do so, feel free to do that.
I sort of hate to ask this
I'm just
question,
writing these notes down.
but what is the protocol if someone should come down with COVID while we're there? Is it?
Yes, so if someone comes down with COVID, we are going to quarantine you. So basically we will be quarantining you. So
At the villa?
we'll either at the villa or somewhere close by. So from my understanding at this time, the villa is full. So I don't know if that means that all of us have taken up the whole villa or if there's other guests that will be at the villa as well. So if there are rooms available to quarantine you at the villa, we will do so. If they are at maximum capacity, we will find somewhere close by to get you quarantined.
Okay, thanks.
How long is the quarantine now or in Italy or whatever?
That I don't know. So we will basically just have to be following whatever current protocols are at that time. And then also whatever the protocols will be to re-enter the US.
Do we need to bring COVID tests?
No.
No.
No. According to the CDC the other day, it was no.
Jessica, this is Patty, what type of bus will we be traveling on?
It's, I believe, a 40 or 50 passenger bus. So it's a large bus and there's 31 of us.
Okay.
Jessica, this is Kathy. Just had a question about the bus and figuring out funds. So I know in the money we paid up front is covering the cost of the bus. Are we expected to tip the bus driver at the end of all this or at the end of each day or anything along that line?
No. Now, if you want to do any tipping, that's totally up to you, but you do not.
You should be able to jump in.
So Jessica, with your villa question, would you ask about blow dryers and stuff for your hair?
Yes. I will.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Well, Well, sometimes it's controversial about tipping since their wait staff is paid better. Are you recommending if we stop for lunch and stuff that we do tip?
So I believe I saw somewhere that tipping in Italy is not the norm. So and I honestly feel like I saw something somewhere where they actually add some type of a fee to your bill that would actually like take the place of a tip. So so definitely I think tipping will be at your discretion. So it's not expected, but if you feel inclined to do so, that you're welcome to do so.
This is Patty again. The first day that we arrive, should we eat lunch beforehand, or what is the, because I know it's kind of a strange time that we're
Yes, it is a
getting there and
strange
leaving.
time. So we are recommending that you eat beforehand. So because on the day of arrival, the villa will only be providing dinner. Now, Carlene thinks that they might present us with some type of a refreshment or snack when we arrive, but that has remained unclear to me, to be honest. And just because of the time we'll arrive will probably be around 3. And I think dinner's served around 6 or 7. So I feel it's too soon, or it's too late to have lunch and dinner when we get there. So I think once you arrive at the airport and you're maybe waiting to just go, and like even maybe before you come to get your baggage, if you see somewhere that you wanted to stop and eat, you know, to eat at the airport while we're waiting for the bus, or to eat while you're on the bus,
So we
definitely
can
grab
do
some
food and
food to
drink on the
eat.
bus, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Jessica, is this PowerPoint going to be available to us for reference?
Yes. So I'm going to post it just as a PowerPoint, but I'm also going to just post this recording because we had several people unable to make it tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And then also, if you guys think of any questions after this or while you're reviewing it, you can definitely shoot those over to us and we can answer those as well.
Would they provide the banks that they were able to get euros before we left?
This is Beach. I got mine at Wells Fargo. If I calculated correctly, I paid about a $20 premium, but it was well worth it to me because they're my bank and it came through very nicely.
Thank you.
And
I
was
got mine
speaking
at AAA, and it was I think it was a $10 fee, and it came in 2 days.
And the bank was called AAA?
No, it's AAA Auto Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, AAA.
And I was talking with PNC, which is the bank that I use, and they also said a couple of days. You know, it's sent FedEx, so depending upon how that goes. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
When you guys were talking to the banks, did any of them about getting euros, did any of them recommend banks to deal with in Italy if you need to use your ATM?
Well, Wells Fargo did not, but we've traveled in Italy, and I've never had any trouble getting money out of ATMs anywhere we went.
Yeah.
It's just using a debit card.
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's a cash advance. If you use credit cards as a cash advance,
Oh,
you're gonna get high charges.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I should have said debit card. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I know when I went to Germany, there was a lot of trepidation sticking that card into that ATM. Like, am I going to get it back?
Well, quite truthfully, I'm thinking about getting a debit card and having it preloaded with a certain amount so that if something happens, you know, that is it. They're not gonna be able to get into other finances.
Yeah.
So a preloaded debit card.
Possible.
If anybody has Bank of America, I think their kind of like partner bank in Europe is Deutsche Bank. And I just looked at the map and there's a lot of Deutsche Banks in Rome.
Mhm.
Something to consider
Mhm.
for those that might be going early.
I remember what we did in Scotland. We thought, oh, we won't use the debit card. We didn't even bring it. And all of a sudden, we're like,
It was a
oh, yeah,
problem.
it'll be a big problem.
Alrighty, well,
So,
if nobody has any other questions, we can go ahead and end tonight's session. But again, if you have any questions, you can email me, you can throw them on the group chat in WhatsApp or even in Canvas. There's lots of ways to connect with one another now, which is great. But other than that, if there's no other questions, we will see you at the next session, which I believe was the 10th. Is it
Yeah.
the 10th?
yes.
Yeah, I think the 10th at 6, right?
10,
So that's next Tuesday.
correct.
Yes, okay. All right,
Sounds
and
good.
again, that session will also be recorded.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice seeing
Alrighty.
everybody.
All right, well, everybody, yeah, and I'm excited to meet everyone in person, and we'll see you virtually again next week.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Jessica.
Thank you,
Have a good
Jessica.
evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
All right,
Bye.
bye. Bye.